how not to be the smartest person in the room. Now, if I get any angry phone calls from your parents after this, I will know that you didn't listen and I will hunt you down, okay? All right, so let's get started. Who am I? You heard a little bit about me in my bio, so I'm not going to read through all of it, but I am studying industrial and systems engineering, and I am minoring in theater. And I'm also involved in some organizations both at high school with Buckeye Girls State, Girls Nation. At Ohio State, I'm an Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship scholar and a Buckeye Leadership Fellow. I like to have really long acronyms behind my name. I also, and so like this, I just want to give you a peek into the story that I'm about to tell you. When I graduated from New Philly in 2014, I was a 4.0 student. I was president of National Honor Society. I had just spoken at graduation, and I was kind of feeling like I was on top of the world. You know, academically, I was like, I am the epitome of success. Now, this sounds really conceited, but it just kind of helps you put a frame of reference about what I'm about to tell you. So, also, what am I doing here? I'm sure you're looking at me and you're like, well, she's 19. We're the same age. What does she have to tell me that I don't already know? And I'm here to tell you that I probably don't have something to tell you that you already don't know, but this is a lesson that I wish I had learned prior to going to school. I am here learning alongside of you. I've been taking notes this whole time, but I think that this lesson that I kind of came to realize is something that can be applied, and I have heard applied across all these extremely intelligent women's presentations. So, do any of you know who this is? This is Michael Scott. I spent a lot of time watching Netflix my freshman year. And this is kind of the epitome of what my freshman year looked like. I started it, I was like, okay, I have a degree path. I'm not really sure what I want to do, it's kind of vague. But the beginning of my freshman year, I was fine academically, I did great. My first semester was awesome. So my second semester, let me preface with the fact that whenever I was in high school, the form of failing for me was like a B-. That's when I needed to kind of kick myself into high gear and say, okay, come on, Ellie, you can do this. So, when I got to Ohio State, my second semester, I started taking courses that were prereqs for my major, and I started taking Chemistry 1250. I got to Chemistry 1250, I got to the first midterm, and I failed it. I'm not talking like, okay, I got a C, that's failure, I'll do better next time. I'm talking, I got a 40%, do not pass go, do not collect $200, okay? So, I was like, okay, well, I'll do better next time. The next midterm came. I did worse. I think I got a 26% on that midterm. Okay, I was failing and I was floundering. I was failing spectacularly, but I was so embarrassed because I was like, okay, I had a 4.0 in high school. I was awesome. I'm not awesome. And I have no, how was I going to come back home and everyone asked me how's college, and me be like, it's great, everything's fine, I'm failing, and I'm fine. Okay, so, come on, love you, Michael, but there it is. So my aha moment, this is what it looked like. So I failed chemistry, like hardcore, and I had to go back to school and I had to take it over again. So I wasted $1,000. I wasted $1,000 taking that class and saying, okay, I failed it and I have to take it again. So I came back my sophomore year, first semester, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna work harder. Because every time I had worked harder in high school, I had earned that next level of success. And so I was like, I just didn't work hard enough. So I go and I'm taking Calculus 1 and Chemistry at the same time. I took both of the first midterms for that class, and again, I just am on a roll. I failed with a 40% and a 50% on these midterms. And at this point, I am floundering. I'm like, I have no idea what to do, but I didn't want anyone to know. Again, I was so scared, I had so much pride, and I just didn't know how to handle it. So I took this opportunity, and I was sleeping in one Sunday morning, and I get a call from my dad, and he's like, Ellie, let's go to breakfast. And I'm like, free breakfast? This is great. I love free breakfast. So he comes down to Ohio State, and he drives 2 hours from New Philly, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. He takes me to my favorite hole-in-the-wall diner, and I'm like so excited because I love this place. And he brings out his laptop, and I'm like, this is weird. And he looks at me dead in the face, and he goes, so you're failing. What? And I am crying, like big tears. And I kind of had been there enough times that I'd known the owner, and he comes over and he's like, hey, is this guy bothering you? I'm like, no, it's just my dad. Can I get a side of eggs with my failure, please? And he was like, he didn't know what to do, so he ran away. I got those eggs later, but it was fine. My dad looks at me, and he goes, Ellie, you're failing, what are you gonna do? I was like, Dad, I'll work harder. I'll be better, I'm sorry. And he said, That's sweet, and I appreciate that. But this isn't something that you can do on your own. Wait a second. I'm an independent woman. I can do anything I want on my own. And he says, no. You need a team behind you. Now, that's not something I had ever felt in college, and so I didn't really know what a team was. How did I come to know this? So I'm doing poorly in my education, or my gen eds. I had zero confidence in myself. When I started failing, I started doubting everything I knew. I was like, I'm just a small girl from a small town, and I have nothing to offer the world. Everyone here has had experiences that are bigger and better than mine, and I accidentally got into this university. That couldn't be farther from the truth, but that's how I felt. My friends weren't really my friends. Freshman year was kind of like, oh, well, I'm in this corporation, and I am in this club, and I'm doing this. And it was all a bunch of one-upping. So I felt really insecure. I only focused on the bad. And when I say I only focused on the bad, I compared myself to the smartest person in the room. And I was like, if I'm not succeeding at a 100% level, then I am not succeeding at all. There was like 100% or 0%. And I obviously got near the 0% at that point in time. And I was putting on a good face, and I was not addressing the problem. So this was me. I'm dead inside. Okay, so how does this apply to anything leadership? Well, I am here to tell you. So in the midst of this emotional breakdown, I talked to a girl who I didn't realize was going through the same thing that I was. She's like, I'm going to send you an article. Read it. And I was like, okay, anything that helps. She sent it to me, and the first name that popped up was Jessica Alba. And I was like, okay, she's an actress. I like theater. I can do this. And she's an entrepreneur. I love entrepreneurship. She's got to have something special to say. And her quote said, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. You should never, ever be the smartest person in the room. Worry if you are. And I was like, mind blown. You know why? Because this totally invalidated everything that I was going through. At first I wanted to call my dad and be like, Dad, Jessica Alba said that I'm doing fine. Not the case. But upon reflection, I figured out that what she was saying was that, it was okay that I wasn't the smartest person in the room. But I needed to find people that were technically skilled enough to help me kick butt in the classes that I wasn't doing well in. It was time to start building my team. It was time to put my pride aside and become someone that was better with people than on my own. So this is my power wall. We're women helping women here, And I kind of wanted to bring these people to life. John Maxwell is just my man in leadership, so he's like the lone survivor over here. But, Taylor Swift, Jessica Alba, Leslie Knope, because I love that woman. These are all people who are in media, and they're respected because they take people and they build them up. They themselves are leaders, and then they use their talents to propel other people to greater heights than they already have. So, phase 2, practical application. What does this mean? Why are you telling me this, Ellie? Why does this matter? I'm already a leader. Okay, so Buckeye Leadership Fellows is like an intensive. All we do is talk about leadership all the time, and I really love it. But we took this thing called a Gallup Strengths Finders test. What I discovered is that these are my top 5 strengths when I took this test. And I was like, okay, I've grown up in a leadership environment. I guess these are things that I identify with. And I was like, I passed. I'm good. And it's not a pass-fail test. I don't know why I thought I passed. But I look at the kid's paper next to mine, and he has none of the same leadership qualities that I did. I was like, teacher, he failed. Why is he here? What I learned, though, is that these are top 5 of my 30 strongest strengths. And they pull from 400 strengths for this, to put that in context. So basically, he was just as qualified as I was, or more qualified, to be there because we filled in each other's weaknesses. There are so many different combinations of what makes a leader and what can make a successful leader that it wasn't a regimen. It wasn't like, do this and you will be successful. It was like, be you, embrace it, and then use other people that have your weaknesses to make everyone better. Again, mind blown. So, in summation, just kind of want to talk about these things. What does this all mean? I told you a story, and you're like, this is great, but how do we apply it? The first thing is remain centered. Number 1, you're all from Tuscarawas County. At some point, I really hope that you are all considering to pursue an education somewhere, be it at Kent State Tuscarawas or anywhere else.
But just because you come from Tuscarawas County does not mean that you don't have great things to offer the world. Do not be shy about where you came from. Embrace it, because that is a strength that you have. You have a small town mindset, or you come from a small town, and you can use that with kids that may not understand everything that you've come from. It's something that I cherish greatly, and I'm always like, do you guys know where I'm from? I'm from Tuscarawas County. They're like, we have no idea where that is. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's the best place ever. So, also, you're all women, okay? And what women do sometimes is we get a little catty when we see someone else in the room. I think that we have the opportunity to completely change the way that women interact with each other as leaders. And when you see a girl that walks in the room, you're like, wow, we're on a team, you know? Or like, you know, she's really smart. I think we could make a business together. I think that that is completely key in the way that we treat each other and the way that we build each other up. In terms of leaving the legacy that you always dreamed you would and embracing the talent of others, you know, this is a very selfish time. You know, at the end of this period, you're either applying to colleges or you're in your senior year and you're like, it's all about me, my graduation party's coming up, I have some pictures, I'm beautiful. Like, yeah, shout out to Solid Rock, because you are. But also, you're going to be in a time where, like, it's all about you, and it's going to come to a screeching point. And I would highly encourage you to start building your team now, so that when it does come to a screeching halt, you don't fall flat on your face like I did. You're going to have people that are there for you, that are there to build you up, and you can also build up in times of need. So, with that being said, you have to decide the kind of leader that you want to be. Do you want to be a servant leader? Do you want to be a position leader? And I would encourage you to be neither of those. I would encourage you to be an authentic leader. I would encourage you to be vulnerable and approach people with a mindset of saying, listen, I have a skill, you have a skill. Let's be great together. And I think with that, you can break through the glass ceiling that is leadership, and you can make the world a better place. You can leave a legacy that people won't soon forget. And ladies, this will make you irreplaceable. Thank you so much.